Well, this is fun. James's fuel pump sounds like it's just stuck on. That's interesting. Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. This is my little brother's 89 Chevy K1500, and we just released a 4-part series of us buying the truck, pulling the engine, swapping a bunch of stuff over, dropping it in, getting it started, and now we are pretty much on the road with the truck. So this is kind of a, I guess you could say, part 5, but realistically, we're just diving into some new things today. So this truck is very, very clean underneath it. It started its life out in, I believe, North Carolina, and I mean, look at that. We have no rust, no real rot. There's one cab corner on the other side. The previous owner said that the truck sat for a really long time in North Carolina, and he said it had mud and stuff all over it. Maybe there was a leak inside the cab, but this is the rust, and as weird as it is to say, it's very clean rust. Like, it's not spread out. It's very solid, but in today's video, we're going to be looking at the fuel pump was staying activated. So one thing we got to look at to start this video out is changing out the ignition. We're out here this morning, and we are going to be taking apart the steering column here just to get down to replace the ignition. So there's a couple little problems with it. You can turn it on, and the key comes out. The radio isn't turning off when you turn off the key. Sometimes you got to turn it back on, turn it back off. You get a little bit of a buzz coming from the dash, which is kind of interesting. And now when we turn the truck off with the battery plugged in, the fuel pump is staying on. You can hear it buzzing. So a little bit of an issue there. We got to, well, that was very simple. That was a good first start. What you actually want to do is just kind of pull this horn off of the steering column, and then we got to grab this little black plastic, push it in, and turn it to the left. We just want to be careful because this is the wire for our horn. We got this little ring right here. I need a flathead screwdriver so I can kind of get it in there and turn it to the left and pry this ring away from the nut. We actually might even be able to use some snap ring pliers. And also, you're also going to want this little funky tool. That's for later. It's to get to some little snap ring on the inside of the wheel. Look at that. Little snap ring pliers, man. That held up great. So I'm just going to put all my parts right here for now. Not really worried about the carpets. Kind of destroyed in this truck already. But yeah, it'll be nice to change this out. Hopefully changing out the ignition will be the thing that's keeping, will be our problem essentially. Because, you know, we want to drive the truck. And I have to believe that if other things are staying on, why wouldn't the fuel be one of the things that gets stuck on in the process? And if it's not, the ignition needed to be changed anyway, so it's not like we're wasting any time here. All right, we're gonna drop this down there. So now something you can do is I can go get a steering wheel puller to pull this off. I guess I should work out this little plastic thing. Let me grab some pliers and see if I can get that off. I wish I had needle nose on me right now, but I don't. We'll see if this will work. Get these in here, push, and oh, I definitely just, maybe I didn't break it. I don't know. That was a little aggressive. I came at it a little sideways. It looks like it's fine. It's probably fine. Who needs a horn anyway? I can go get a steering wheel puller and attach that to kind of work the steering wheel away from the shaft. So I got my pulley puller right here. We got a shaft going through it and a tapered tip to sit in the center of this shaft. And basically we got 2 threaded holes. I gotta find some bolts in here that are long enough to thread into those holes and sit inside of these grooves evenly. Then as I tighten this, it's going to pull the steering wheel, because we're bolting this to the steering wheel, and the center shaft is pushing on the shaft, pulling the wheel off of the shaft. So gotta find something to fit that, and then we can tighten it up. Well, here we are. I've managed to crack the wheel off of the column. This should just about come off. There we go. Gonna take this pulley puller off, and then we'll start working on what it's gonna take to get that ignition out. Alrighty, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna use our special tool to push pressure down on this metal clamp. I don't really know what this is. It's just a metal template. And then we can get down to our little O-ring right there. So this tool should be pretty simple to use. It's a little big, but that's okay. Basically, I'm just going to get the threads going. There we are. All right, now, once we get a little closer, we got to put this in a position. Probably right there is completely fine. walk this wing nut back, actually. Get it nice and tight on there. All right, I guess it's good. Now we can run our wing nut back again. Get this right where we want it. We don't want it on the white plastic. We want it to be on the metal. Then as I apply pressure with the wing nut, it's going to push this plate back. That way I can get at the little snap ring. Yeah, there we go. I can see it working itself away from it. We'll put our screwdriver in place and realize it's too big and I need a smaller one. All right, here we are. A little O-ring sitting just on the shaft for now. I'll take that off in a little bit. We can release our wing nut and then take this tool off of the shaft. Kind of an interesting tool. I don't even know, honestly, what it's called. It's just kind of a bummer if you don't have it, you know, trying to get this piece off. Might need it to get it back on, though. It looks like there's a little bit of spring tension on this piece. So something we'll come back to. There's a little O-ring. Don't want to lose that. I keep calling it an O-ring. It's a snap ring, but all the same thing. Then we're going to remove this piece right here. Probably going to clean that up with a rag when I get a free minute. Now we got some Phillips head screws. I believe we turn this to the right, and it makes this Phillips head screw a little bit more accessible. So I think there's 4 here that we got to take off, and I'm also going to take off the hazard switch, which is also a Phillips head screw. A little overkill. I might need something different. Oh, no, there we go. We got it. We waste no time here. This isn't too bad of a job. You just need the right tools. You can probably do it in like 25 minutes, half hour. Just like I said, gathering the right tools. This screw is a little interesting because there's a bracket that comes with it. Should have done that one last to show you guys. But, well, looks like it just fell right off anyway. But there's a little notch in the bracket that needs to go perfectly back onto this switch. That way you can control your signals. But we're just going to keep working on it. Here we go. Pulling this plastic trim out real slowly. There's some wires attached to it. I don't know if I should have unplugged something first here. Maybe I can just kind of walk it around the shaft. Yeah, there we are. All right, we're good. We're looking good. And I place all my screws carefully on the floor mat. All right, now we're into the real nitty gritty. So we're going to clean this up. Actually, right here is, I believe, the only torque bit we need to take out. Maybe this top one. So let me get something on those, and it's one of these two that actually holds the actual ignition itself in. So this actually isn't that bad. I thought there was a little bit more to this. All right, I'm going to start by taking off the top torque screw. Kind of see what happens there. I'm not sure if this is the one that holds that in or not. A little tricky to get a socket torque in there because there's not a lot of space. It might just be, yeah, look at that. Awesome. Well, that's exciting. Yeah, we can take our new ignition and drop that right in. Let me get this open for y'all. Beautiful. Okay. I'm going to put the key in there just because I had the key in there to take it out. All right. So here is the new ignition. There's a little notch on the bottom that screw sits in. You do all that work to get to that one screw. Interesting, you know? All right, we got to feed this in just right as well. We've gotten our new ignition in, moving everything around. You can see everything is hopefully working as it should. All I'm going to do, now that you've seen me take it all apart, is kind of do it in reverse. Put it all back together. There's nothing really interesting about watching me put it back together. I don't think there's any special tricks or tips. If I find anything that seems interesting, I'll let you know, but not much to it. So I'm going to put this back together, and then we're going to plug back in the battery and see if the fuel pump is staying off while the key is in the off position. But I got to send that screw to lock this in place, and it's going to be pretty nice having a brand new ignition in this truck. All right, just kind of piecing things back together. We do need to use this fancy tool to run this metal clip back on. This clip sits facing up with this plastic piece going right through the center of it, and then I can push my little snap ring right back on. And then after that, I just got to plug in the horn, tighten down the nut, put the other snap ring over it, throw the wheel on, and we're done. Bam! We got our wheel back in place. Now all we got to do is get the key in here and go connect the battery and turn it on and just do auxiliary, and then see if our fuel pump is still buzzing. Now, there is a good chance this didn't fix that, but we needed a new ignition anyway, so kind of an important thing that we had to get done. But let me get the right size ratchet and socket, and I will go plug it. Start it up for a second though. Just give it a good run. Started right up great. I was just seeing if I saw anything else that was kind of unusual per se. Nothing too crazy. All right, gonna turn off the truck. Gotta go unplug the battery. When I turn off the truck, I'm curious if the radio is actually gonna turn off or if that's just wired in funny, because it is an aftermarket radio held in by duct tape, so I'm sure that's not exactly done correctly. But, all right, well, the radio actually turned off. You get a buzzing there, but it actually went out. Sometimes it stays on. But actually, listen. The fuel pump went off. We're going to have to pay attention to this and see if this fuel pump comes back on in the future. Let's give it another go. See what happens. Got a parking brake light on. Brake light could also mean low on fluid, so I'll check that. Other than that, it sounds fine. Everything seems like it's working as it should. All right, everything seems good. When I turn on the truck, the buzzing comes on, turns right off to prime. I turn off the truck. We get no buzzing down here. Whatever goes on in the dash. I don't know what's buzzing down in there. I don't know if the radio still turns on. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. You could turn the radio on while the truck was off before. You can't do that now. So there was definitely something funky going on with that last ignition. So that is wonderful. We solved a lot of small issues we were having with the truck just now. Hopefully, you know, there's a lot of other little things that we got to do to the truck throughout time, but I'll take that as a sure big W. Got some other weird, interesting thing my old man noticed when he was down below the truck. So we're gonna get this up on the tar, and I gotta get under there and show you guys what else I'm looking at. So this is something that was noticed down below. We're gonna run a washer and a cotter pin in this linkage. Someone ran a literal nail down here. Seems to be holding up right now, but you know, not long before it doesn't. So that's something else we got to switch out at some point. Not the end of the world right this second, but would like to find the right size cotter pin for that and change that out as well. Actually, kind of smart though. I thought it was gonna fall at first, but they actually have it bent over, so not the worst thing I've seen. But yeah, just want to do it right. Well, brought the truck out on another drive, and everything seems to be going great this time around. I think it's time James starts driving this thing himself, and might break down a time or two. That's usually what you can expect with old cars is in your first couple drives, but who knows, it might do him really well. There's a lot of things that need some attention on this truck, but those are all things we can get to a little later down the line. But very happy this ignition has worked out for us. Yo, what's up guys? It is a new morning and we are back out here with the truck today. We just did the ignition lock cylinder or tumbler, whatever you want to call it, inside of the truck. And what we got going on right now is I'm going to lift up the truck. We got 6 boxes right here, 2 inner tie rods, 2 outer tie rods, and 2 sleeves, because we're going to be doing the tie rod ends on this truck. After you do tie rod ends, you have to go bring the vehicle to get aligned. So we're going to get underneath there today, and I'm going to show you how to do the tie rod ends. First things first, we're going to pull off the wheels. Got a 7/8 socket on there. And we are going to yank these off. Alrighty, I've opened up all my tie rod boxes. We're going to come over to here. This is considered your inner tie rod end. This is your sleeve, and this is your outer. So the inner tie rod end, there's a little grease point that's pointing off to the side of the tie rod. So we're going to come over to here, and I'll show you. We have 2 tie rod ends that have the little grease point on the side. That's going to be our inners. These are going to be our outers. It's the grease point is at the bottom of the tie rod end underneath it. Same with the outers on the truck. And these are our sleeves. So some of these are reverse thread. So if you try to tighten the sleeve on there, it's not going on. You just got to flip it around or turn it counterclockwise and it'll go up on there. One side should be normal thread. The other side should be reverse thread. That way, once it's on the truck and you have it bolted on, you can turn them and it'll tow in and out your wheel. But that is going to be it. So I'm going to put those together and Then we'll match them up with those once we get them off the truck. Our tie rod ends are now assembled, but we're not going to tighten down these center clamps yet because we got to wait until we get these off to match them up to the exact same size as close as we can by eye. Then tighten these up, throw them on. I'll show you when we get there though. We're going to pull off this first nut, which is a 3/4 nut. That is big. Well, I guess it's not a 3/4 nut. All right, take 2. It's an 18 odd. Beautiful. Now, the secret to this is you're going to have to beat the hell out of it with a hammer until it comes out. There we go. Now we've gotten our outer out. We got to get up here, and we actually have to remove that little cotter pin. So for that cotter pin, I just got to pull this tab as straight out as possible. You can see it's pretty loose. Like once I get these together, I could probably just work out the pin backwards. I might have to grab the other side. I can grab the cotter pin that I've worked it out a little bit of the ways, and we can just kind of keep prying it off the nut to get it pulled out of place. It's almost there. It's in a little bit of a tricky spot, but there we go. That is now out. All right, we got our 3/4 socket. We're gonna get that up on there and hopefully get that to break free. All righty, let's get this off. Probably literally do it by hand. All right, now we are pulling this nut off. Gonna hammer out the inner side of the tie rod end. Once I get it out, we'll compare it to our new tie rod end. So after about a half hour swinging the hammer, I move the wheel. About 5 minutes of swinging the hammer, we're out. So now what we're gonna do is take our tie rod ends and line them up as closely as we can with the current ones. So as you can see, I gotta bring them in a little bit more so they match this. And then we gotta take our clamps, we gotta make it so the open sides are facing the same side like this and tighten them down. So we've just knocked out the tie rods on this side. Gonna lengthen this one up with the other one. Flip it back up there. I'll be done on this side as well. So now that I have my tie rod set up the way I want it to, I'm going to slide in the inner tie rod first. We're going to start the castle nut on there. And once I've started the castle nut, we're going to come over here and run this one right through this hole. All right, so here we are. We've just kind of hand tightened up the nut on the threads. Very simple stuff. Now I'm going to take our ratchet. We're going to tighten this up, get it nice, good, and snug. Seems like it's good. As you can see, I got to tighten it up just a little bit more. We're snug, we're tight, but as you can see, we got to go just a little bit more. So that's pretty tight right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cotter pin. We're going to run it right inside this nut, push it right in there, and then fold this pin over just like that. Now that nut won't back itself off. Now I got to tighten this one up and do the exact same thing. Well, there you have it. I've tightened up my castle nut. We've ran the cotter pin in both sides. I've already completed the other side. So all I got to do now is throw the wheel on and get this thing back on the ground. Well, James is going to bring his truck to get a front end alignment, but this is the first time he's gotten the chance to drive his own truck. It is nice just to drive it though, huh? All that work, all that money spent.
Yeah, it's nice.
I get to enjoy it. But the radio goes out now. The lights are on the left. It's actually like it's a pretty interesting switch. You have to push down on that right there. But, dude, what do you think?
Sick.
W. You're going to get this aligned tomorrow. And we'll see everybody in part 6. Thanks y'all so much for checking out today's video. If you want to see some more content, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We got a couple more cool things coming for the truck. Thanks for watching, and peace out.